to living in Vienna, he worked as a professional opera singer in Australia. He was a principal artist at the Sydney Opera House. Yes, the Sydney Opera House. He also performed in the 2010 Edinburgh Festival and with many other Australian organizations. In 2015, and this was to our benefit, he moved to Vienna and became active in the Vienna Toastmasters. He still sings with various local organizations in Vienna while helping his family thrive in a new city as a husband and father. David was the president of the Toastmasters Club 551 here in Vienna, and he's obtained several levels of speaking and leadership competence through Toastmasters. And he is currently the area director for another group of clubs in Vienna. His focus in this workshop is helping you to speak better, and take full advantage of your voice. Please help me in welcoming David.
Thank you, Krista, for that warm welcome, and thank you for having me here at the VIC, the UN. It feels very special to be able to say to people I'm giving a workshop at the UN today. And Toastmasters UN. Not to get too full of myself, but really, I came last week and I was very impressed with your club and very impressed with the caliber of speaking and the professionalism. So really, well done. As was mentioned, I am a Toastmaster, that's why I'm here, and I delivered this workshop at the Brno conference with a few slight changes. So I've gone and reworked all of my slides because I took advice. If you've never been to a district workshop, a district conference, go. There are so many workshops. I was one of about 8 workshops. There was one on presentation slides. I met with Aposh afterwards, and we're collaborating in an informal way now where I'm exchanging voice lessons for presentation skills, slide lessons. And so this is the efforts from that today in terms of just putting together a slide deck. So I'm convinced that singing can help us to speak better. I've been a singer, yes, and maybe you're standing here thinking, well, all well and good for you, David, you've been a singer for 15 years. I sing in the shower, I sing love songs to my children as lullabies before bed. It doesn't matter. If you can speak, you can sing. My singing teacher here in Vienna, Sylvia Greenberg, that's her theory. And many of the theories that I've been influenced by over the last 15 years as a professional singer, I bring to you today. We're not going to sit down for much longer, so you don't need a pen and paper. I can always send to Krista and the team here the slides afterwards and write up some of the material that I have. I also have vocal fact sheets and things that I can give you as well. The idea of today is really to give you strategies, some ideas. I like to say, when I work with people privately, I now start to work with C-level people. I'd like to work with as many people as I can to evangelize the idea that confident, and Toastmastering is obviously part of that, but confident speaking can really make a difference. And I don't know what organizations you're all from, but I'm sure some of you are in positions of power and influence. So if you can take one thing out of today into your own lives, then I will feel happy with that. And of course, I'm available through the Toastmasters network, should you have questions, or if you'd like to know more. But I say to these people, I have a bag full of stuff. Tips, tricks, strategies, and ideas. Today I'm going to present to you an outline, a process, a methodology that you can immediately take into your work. You can immediately start to do this on a daily basis. And it's not just about singing, it's about the whole body. So I won't go on too long, but this is me at 551 delivering a speech. We had a guy who's a photographer one night. He said, I want to take your photo, and I use it everywhere. It looks fantastic. So maybe with Aloise on the video camera there, maybe one day you do some stills as well, and you get some great action shots, yeah? Because you want to publicize what you do. And for me, this is a very strong picture when I was delivering the president's introduction. And yes, I've been a Toastmaster for nearly 3 years. When I first came to Vienna, I didn't have a strong network. The reason I'm here is that my wife is also an opera singer. We have 2 young sons. At the time, they were 6 and 2. And it wasn't feasible for me to start running off into Germany and trying to audition and doing all sorts of things. She has a job at the Staatsoper, here. And she was also a soloist and a chorister in Australia at the Sydney Opera House with me as well. I now call myself a personal development trainer who specializes in voice. So not only am I interested in voice and vocal abilities in people, but also the leadership, the inner leadership, the authenticity that goes with that. So if you have an interest in these kinds of topics, I'd be more than happy to speak with you and even coach and work with you. I plan to put on more of such workshops in my future. As we heard that ring, let's all make sure our phones are on silent, because we don't want to be singing and then suddenly find that we have an alternative tune in our heads. Here's a couple of photos of me at the Opera House. Who can guess which one of these guys I am? The middle, yes, well done. So this is from Turandot, Ping, Pang and Pong. And I was Pong. And in English, as we know, to pong, in Australia especially, is to be a bit stinky. And certainly after a whole 3 hours of wearing this costume, makeup, yes, you get popped. And that's the thing, when you're up here performing, you get popped. So if you're giving your first speech, as some of you I think would like to, and you yes, no. For those first time people who are waiting to speak, yes, get up here and experience this. The other picture here is from Die Todesstaat, where I played the role of Gaston, and yes, I'm wearing a fat suit, because I lost a lot of weight. So they padded me up, and here now I'm trying to grow my beard a little bit longer to try and match the Chinese beard I had then. So for me, as I say, really today is about you though. It's about bringing the best from the stage into everyday life. That's really one of my mottos. Bringing the best from the stage into your everyday lives for the reason of your next performance, whether that's here as a Toastmaster, whether that's in a bilateral agreement and negotiation where you have to perhaps resolve conflict and do all sorts of things. If you want to speak to inspire, then let's get started. Is everybody ready for that?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so let's stand up and push our chairs in. We decided you don't need to be, no, don't do that. Stand in the middle. We want to have everybody lined up. And I just want you to stand up as you are. Stand up. Great. So for me, we're all like onions. Onions. So when you chop an onion in half, what do you get? What do you see? Layers. Fantastic. So the point is we all have layers. We all wear clothes, yes. We're not going to undress today. But we all put on a character. We all hold ourselves in certain ways. So even in asking you all to stand there now, I see lots of different things. I see this, 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 already. I see a version that we all hold. We all hold our bodies in certain ways. So the first thing we're going to do, I want to do, is to neutralize. So this is a warm-up activity. You're on the day of a big performance. Maybe you've got a last 10th speech. Maybe you've got a big negotiation. You guys have important jobs. I'm not devaluing that at all, but you need to prepare yourselves. Preparing your voice is about preparing your body from head to toe. So what we're going to do, if you can see me, and we'll work through this, is stand in what I call neutral stance. This is our warm-up. So I want everybody to put your feet parallel. So not out like this, like ducks, not in, not out, but parallel. It may be unusual for some of you, because we all hold our feet in different ways. And a little bit of space, so that's a bit close, Monica. So we don't want to be squatting, but we don't want to be toy soldiers in the Nutcracker. We want to be somewhere in between. Shoulder width is good. And we want to feel our toes in our shoes. We want to even bear our weight a little bit forward. Now I don't know about anyone with a personal injury, so if you don't feel if this is going against something that your physiotherapist or doctor talked about, please do not continue. Have a seat. But the idea is that we're neutralizing our body. Now what I see most Toastmasters, they come up here and they go, "Hello, my name is David and I'm here to do Toastmasters," and what they've done is they've locked their knees. How often when you stand up do you lock your knees? Who's going to admit to that? Good. So don't do it. It's speaker and singer death. If you don't know if you're doing it, chances are you're doing it, because it's about awareness. So everyone do the opposite for me. Feet parallel, lock your knees, clench your bum, like really bring tension. Bring tension into your tummies, and then try and say, hello, my name is, and I love Toastmasters. Go.
Hello, my name is, and I love Toastmasters.
Good. Felt a bit awkward, right? Where you couldn't really perhaps vocalize in a more comfortable way. So let's do the opposite. So with our feet parallel, I want you to bend your knees. I don't want you to downhill ski. I want you to bend the knees a little bit. Just enough that we can see, as James is doing, just a little bit in the pants. So we see the pants are engaged, and suddenly our knees are active. I want you to now also start moving your hips, especially the men. Wiggle, 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 like you've got a hula hoop. Yeah. The reason being is that we want to make sure that we're loose. So, yeah, really, don't be shy, don't look at each other, that gets weird. Wiggle your hips and loosen up. Okay, you could be in the bathroom, around the corner from the meeting room doing this. You don't have to do it publicly, best not to. The idea is that you are nice and loose. We've all experienced a tense speaker. When we see tension, what do we feel?
Tension.
We feel the tension. When we see relaxation, we feel relaxation. Yeah. I saw two very good speeches last week from first-time speakers, one of whom is in the room, I won't give it away, but very good speaking, very relaxed, very confident, and it was very good. And I imagine that there was some body work, maybe, or yoga, martial arts, boxing, any of these activities that bring about this body awareness are fantastic. So our knees are bent, our feet are parallel, we're feeling our toes, our hips are nice and loose. And this forms the foundation of good speaking and good singing. If you've ever been to the opera, you'll notice that opera singers walk around like that. They don't ever tighten up like the nutcracker unless they're in the ballet. The ballet dancers do that. But opera singers go lower. And you often see them go to a wall. And they go, and they move around. They're never still, and their knees are never locked. So don't be like this guy. But the foundation starts here and works down. So what are our feet doing? Parallel, call it out, great. What are our knees doing?
Bend.
And what are our hips doing? Swirling. They're loose at least, yeah. So that way the bum's nice and loose and you can move. Now, so the top half sits on the foundation. And just put your arms beside you. My drama teacher used to make us stand like this for 5 minutes when I was a young artist. Reason being, we're not going to do 5 minutes, we've got time. But the reason being is that you start to feel where you want to move. Already some are adjusting shoulders, heads, knees and toes. Looking around, it gets a bit awkward. We're not used to standing in this way. We're not used to being in a neutral position that allows us to find rest. To stand in meditation. But if you can come back to this point at the middle of the onion, then I think you can set your body up from here. Now it's a little exercise. Try lifting your head and say, "Hi, my name is David, and I love Toastmasters." Go. It's weird, doesn't it? And vocally, even dropping your chin a little bit. I can't see your name, Melissa. Yeah, not too high, just dropping it. So for some it might feel weird, so maybe we walk around with our heads up, maybe we walk around with our heads down. We hold these postures as we go, depending on where we are and what we're doing. So our shoulders are relaxed, our arms are beside us. From here, I just want you to put 1 foot forward. I don't mind which. Put 1 foot forward. Not a lunge, that's it. Great. Now I want you to distribute your weight 60 at the front, 40 at the back. Reason being, if you look at me now, do I look active?
Mm-hmm.
Do I look engaged?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you ready to listen to what I have to say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this, compare that to this.
Yeah.
Do I look interesting now? All I've done is change the lower half of my stance. So you can be here, bless you. You can be here 60, 40, 50, 50. Don't do this. So what I recommend for good singing, good speaking, is that we have one leg slightly forward. Now when you want to move, you just put the other foot forward. If you want to move back, so now just try, it's like a little bit of dancing. Where we're here, we're there. So if you have a very small space in which to stand to deliver, because you've got a camera, because you've got to be in the spotlight and all things for the stage where you're speaking, well, you can be on probably about a foot by a foot and just do this. We look active, we look engaged. The voice is also engaged. So in this position, just say, hello, my name is David and I love Toastmasters. Go.
Hello, my name is Corcoran and I love Toastmaster.
Great. So that was at least 30% louder, do you agree? From before, certainly, and certainly from the first version that we had. Now, of course, I'm not saying that you get to a point where you walk into a room and say, hello. You want to try, if you want to do anything, if you want to take one tip out of today so far, bend your knees when you speak. Put one foot forward. Find a position. It can be like a boxer. It can be karate. It could be not really yoga, but it's one of these kinds of more active dance type steps. We look elegant and we look good because we're loose here and we can move. Over a 4 to 8 hour period, this is where it really counts. The voice is not feeling affected and you can continue to speak. Does that make sense? You have a question?
I have a question. So I think it's different from women and men because I think it doesn't look bad if a woman stands like this, right? If you stand like that, it looks weird, yes. But
Yes?
yes.
Could you show us
If I
one
stand
forward?
like this, I'm
And
unstable.
put your
I
hands.
feel unstable.
Uh-huh.
If I feel unstable, I cannot speak.
Can you put your foot slightly back? Yeah. So it's a little. So it could be a little bit closer like that. Yeah. The point is that this is parallel, which is warm up, but we want to go one slightly forward. That looks very nice. Do you agree?
Yes.
It takes time. So I'm not saying, yes, please find 60-40, oh my God, that's what David said. But you need to take, maybe you don't take this idea, but maybe you don't do your next speech like this. Maybe you do it like this. Maybe you just do it like this. Maybe you do it like this, but you have kind of this readiness in your hips and in your body to move. In my opinion, when I watched, my wife's in La Cenerentola at the moment, and I watched the singers the other night to confirm my idea. The tenor, lovely tall man, gets to the spot on the stage and he does this. It looks fantastic. And he's the prince, the hero of the opera. Now if you're an evil character, you can be like this. You know, and that's what Rigoletto does in the opera. So all I'm saying is that with this stance, you need to find a position, and you are all louder. And that for me means that it's the right thing to do. So just to review, I want it to be relaxed. Find a relaxed position. I want one foot forward ideally. And ladies, you might need to change your shoes.
Yes.
So rehearse in your shoes. Find a position in your shoes. Wear flat shoes if you need to feel that position. Maybe the heels, it's difficult to know. With the 60-40 balance. Is that clear for everyone?
Yes.
What do you mean by 60-40?
I mean, if we have 100% weight, I want 60% on the front and 40 on the back. We don't want 80-20 because then you're leaning over and it looks too much. But neither 60, it could be 60 on the back and it could be just something that you change. But the idea, when we sing, im wunderschönen Monat Mai, als Alge Vögel sangen. Feels good, because it's then not, im wunderschönen Monat Mai. It doesn't look so good, does it? So we really want to be in a position where we're active. I don't mind how you do it, but be active. From this position, we're all there, hands beside us. Everyone please take a breath. Excellent. Good. So we can all breathe, which is great. But I see this. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but there's versions of that. Shoulders are moving up, shortening of the neck. Who's ever played a musical instrument that requires breath? like woodwind or brass? Yeah. Who's ever done a yoga class? Yeah. Who's ever done karate, boxing, that kind of thing? Yeah, great. So most of you might be familiar then with diaphragmatic breathing. The diaphragm sits here. When we breathe in, without using our shoulders, the diaphragm comes down, and all of our internal organs have to move somewhere. You might say, David, if I say breathe low, you say, well, David, you're an idiot. Your lungs are in your chest. And yes, they are. But in order for them to move, the diaphragm must come down. The organs must move. And so we have this movement at the front. So what I want to see more is that we're relaxed in this position. And watch my gut, man. That it pops out. And if you remember being 3 months pregnant, that's about that feeling. Maybe you're a little more. And maybe it's hard enough for you to breathe. So for ladies who have had children, it's that 3-month feeling, my wife confirms. And for men, it's I have a beer belly. So if you're a man who likes to walk around, young guys, you know, like, yes, I'm sucking in my gut, or even ladies, don't, stop it. We want to allow the relaxation here. So everyone take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, in this nice neutral position. Look around already and see who's lost the neutral position. So breathing in. Who feels calm? Yeah. Now, of course, we say just breathe lower when we're anxious, but in a public speech, I can pause and breathe through my nose. So there's a little tip. Because what it does is it lowers our blood pressure, lowers the stress, but it also means that our voices can work more efficiently. So breathe in. Say, hi, my name is David, and I love Toastmasters. Go.
Hi, my name is David, and I love Toastmasters.
Good, and lots of people follow my hand lead there as well. This is me being dramatic. Let's do it again, and give me 10% more.
Hi.
Hi, my name is David, and I love Toastmasters.
So when you hear an audible change, and then where does the change come from? From breathing and from the knees. Yeah, the knees are loose, the breathing is more. So if we want to speak louder, we need more breath. Many people feel like they're going to run out of breath. Who feels when they speak, I'm going to run out of breath? Yeah, you won't. You won't run out. But what's important for me is that the reason why you see the elegant singer, the 4 bars of music playing at the start, it's not that we're in La La Land. We're thinking about it going, Im wunderschönen Monat Mai, not Im wunderschönen Monat Mai. Now, in the middle of an opera, when you're playing Turandot, you're doing a lot of activity. You don't have time to breathe through your nose always. But if you start your speech, if you leave your chair, please welcome to the stage Lily, and Lily's walking up. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. You arrive, you speak, you go, and it sounds luxurious because you're able to breathe on the way out. It's a simple idea. Breathe on the way out. Take 2 breaths on the way out if you need to. You don't want to breathe in. Hold it in. You want to breathe normally, but breathe through your nose. Just a little.
What if it is overreacting? I mean, that if it doesn't feel natural, like, for instance, in a business speech, because that's when you act, it's probably you get more engagement, but maybe they look at you like, hey, this guy is like, it's overreacting.
Overdoing it? Yeah, you don't.
You must find the balance, I understand.
You must find the balance, but put it this way, if we all go, hello, my name is David, I love Toastmasters, try that, go. You felt a wholeness on the back of their throat. So, of course, that's an exaggeration as well, but most of us mouth breathe during the day. But if we breathe through the nose, we're warming the air via the nostrils and all the internal parts of our nose, and so by the time it reaches our lungs, it's in a nice position to go, if that makes sense. So find a balance. People are clapping, they're not hearing you breathing through your nose. As you're walking up to the stage, you look good, and then you can arrive and speak with confidence because you've got a nice belly full of air. That's really, for me, the important idea. I don't want you to be in the midst of a speech and say, and now I will continue. That's not what I mean. It's just on the start, and it could be at the end. In order for us to look calm and to be bringing the adrenaline down a little bit. As it is, we're going to feel anxious. So it's also what you can do before. So if you're sitting in your chair, here's a little bonus tip. Don't be like, please welcome to the stage, David. Right, you know, that doesn't look active or engaged. So if you're the fifth speaker, like I will be tonight at my club, while the fourth speaker is there, I just sit forward, I take my back off the back of the chair, and I put my stance in my feet already, at the bottom here, and then I breathe. I'm allowing my lower back to really open up. Really open up. So if you're in a tense conflict situation, breathe low while you're listening, while you're actively listening to others. Then you're in this position to stand up. Please welcome David. Hi, here I am. I look active, I'm ready to go, I'm not wasting the audience's time. And that's really the crucial part. You look like you're doing that, if you've got a long way to come, breathe through your nose on your way. Then you arrive and you're ready. And you look active. Tell me if I don't. Good. Is the 1 foot forward? Excellent. Good. So also, as we just experienced, we get 20 to 30% more sound when we breathe through our nose. So just to reinforce that, let's go back to our neutral stance. 1 foot forward, arms beside us. Breathe in through your nose. Give me 20% more, especially people at the back. Give it to me up here. Hello, my name is David and I love Toastmasters. Great. So there's no reason why we can't be doing that. Let's just review. Deep breath, relaxed, low in the belly, through the nose. It's not foreign, I don't think, to anybody. When we go to sleep at night, if we can, if we're not sick, we tend to breathe through our noses. If we've had a good night's sleep, we often wake up breathing through our noses. The air is unified. Now, energy. I talk about energy because who finds when they speak, they need to pump themselves up? Yeah? Who is like on a high and then needs to kind of come down for a speech? Others? Yeah? Good. Yawning is a sign that your body's just taking on more air, by the way. You're not tired, it's just that you're taking on air, which is great. So for me, energy is really important to think about. It's why opera singers tend to have a routine and why we go through certain steps in order to optimize our performances. Because the person that you're seeing on stage has spent weeks preparing that and years preparing their bodies in that way. Now, who's seen I'm Not Your Guru by Tony Robbins, or the story of Tony Robbins? Some of you? Admit it? It's okay. Anyone? I see a few nods. So, why do you think Tony's side stage and he's got someone handing him a shake and he's got someone, you know, doing a bit of makeup, he's got someone and he's on a bouncer for a couple of minutes, and then he does this whole... Why do you think he does that? To get the energy going, and because he's about to go into a room of 1,000+ people who are all, Tony, Tony, Tony. Now, your next Toastmaster speech is a version of that. You need to be at least one level higher, energetically. Pay attention to who's come before you. So if it's been Crazy David up here giving a speech beforehand, maybe James's approach, which often is a more sly kind of, hi, I'm James. Ridiculous voice, and I'm going in for the cool English guy. And that works because it's an energetic change. If we just had 5 speeches like me, it would be too much. So think about who's before, who's 2, 3 speakers before, and what energy you need to bring. If you're delivering a workshop, today I try to deliver an energy level that's just 1 above you all. And there are 30 of you in the room versus me. So I need to be a little more dramatic, as we said before. So think about your energy. It can be internal, it can be external. The Hungarians, if you come to a division conference, you see that the Hungarians are like listening to Eye of the Tiger. And they're like ready, and they run down that stage in the competition, and then their friends are all there, going, yeah, you know, they're really supporting that. And then, you know, honestly, I'd like more of you to come, because Austria, if one of us is in there, it's like, oh, yeah, we can do with a bit more. Take a bit from them, and they can take a bit from us. So depending on what's happening in your performance, you need to think about your energy. Think of the audience. So I can see some of you are getting tired. So everyone, high five your neighbor, go now.
All right.
Boom.
Yeah.
Good more. One more high five. Good, because you're about to get to the singing. Great. And you see how suddenly the room became more alive? Yeah? Suddenly we're more alive, everyone's ready. Okay. People often say, oh, that's so American. When I teach English classes, they go, oh, that's so American. No, it's just a passing of energy. Passing of energy. So, but think of your audience. If you're napping and bored, you need to get them moving. If it's too much, we need to bring it down. We need to vary that energy as we go. And do it with purpose. So don't throw out these activities just as sort of fun to-dos, like at a children's party. It's really with an idea in mind. And that idea for me is vowels. Our vowels are I-A-I-O, are Italian in English, and they are like the lubricant in our car. The car runs more efficiently when there's plenty of oil. Likewise, your voices run efficiently when you concentrate on the vowels. In singing, we concentrate on the vowels. And we actually do exercises. You heard me sing before. And so on. So we actually build it up directly. Now you can't go and give your speech going, I'm not suggesting that. But what I want to do is an exercise. Do we have anyone named Adam in the room? No.
Alois.
But let's all say
Alois.
I want to go with Adam. So Adam. Repeat.
Adam.
You don't have to do the hands, by the way. This is me letting you conducting the group. Adam.
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 Adam. So you can all sing, right? So if anyone here says, no, I don't sing, you've just proven yourself wrong. So you see how quickly we go from speaking to singing in just a few short ways. So we're going to go Adam,
Adam.
Eva,
Eva.
Igor, Olga, Uli. So Adam, Eva, Igor, Olga, Uli. And hopefully you're not feeling pain in your throat. You're okay?
No, just I realized that I forgot how to breathe, so I was
Yes, that old chestnut. So we want to go, of course, ideally we're building it up in our process now. So we can be in the bathroom, resonant spaces, in the shower in the morning. Standing there, the shower's hitting us in the face or on the back, and just Arameba Igor Olga Uli, Arameba Igor Olga Uli, Arameba Igor. So, as a little exercise, let's get us all harmonizing together as a Toastmasters club a little bit. If you need to pick a different note, pick a different note.
Yes, for the ladies, please. Yes,
or whatever you want to do. Yeah. So we're going to just do it on one note for now, and then we're going to harmonize in a minute. But I want to just see, so I want you to be in position, I want you to take a nice, just watch me first. And we're going to just do it until you run out of breath. So don't fall over, please look after yourself. I want you to do it until you run out of breath, because I want you to, and put your hand up, just stop when you need to stop and put your hand up. And we'll just see who takes the longest. The idea is that the breath is going to come in, your stomachs are going to want to collapse like when we're underwater, and you want to just keep going, keep going, keep going, and then I want you to pay attention to what happens when you do breathe in. It will be automatic. So often when we speak, we can get more out of that sentence. So we could take any piece of text, and we could say, description. This workshop will explore some of the tools and techniques collected by opera singer and Toastmaster David Corcoran over 15 years of singing, bringing the stage to everyday life. David will explore how to I do it with children's books. Harry McClary from Donaldson's Dairy and Slinky Malinky, the Rapscallion Cat. Two very nice books I read to my children because they have a repetitive rhyme and you have to, in one page, really extend the breath. So, we all know what we're doing. I-A-E-O, or Adam, Eba, Ego, Olga, Uli. I don't mind if you go I-A-E-O, and in time with your neighbor. So it's part listening, part singing, on a pitch that suits you. You're all ready? Neutral stance, building it up. Breathe through your nose. And I think James here had maybe 8 or 9, so he was really extending that breath. We all have individual differences, but what did you notice when you breathed again? Like a balloon. You just filled up automatically, which is great. So as an exercise, again as an exercise, don't go out onto the stage and speak like that and try to just go like that, because you look silly, but you want to do it to extend the breath, to show you that you have more. Singing is about breath management. Speaking at Toastmaster is about breath management. Where will I breathe? Where do I pause? When do I breathe through my nose? When do I breathe out through my mouth? So, if you've got a phone, you can easily download a real piano for free. There are plenty of apps. So we're going to break the room now into small groups. So we're going to have from Lily through to Rena. I want you to say, Adam. Yeah, we're going to be on this note, right? Adam, 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 Adam. You go, Adam. Yeah, remember that? Adam. Listen to your neighbor. Adam. So this is going to be the base of our chord, right? Adam, 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 Adam. Good. From Shuba around to Claire. I think we're going to have Eva, Eva. So you're going to have Adam, Adam, Adam. And from Victoria. Around to Valerie. Exercise we can do to be a group, be a small group, but listen to the chord, listen to the others, and really create, it'll be here in the air somewhere, this sense of harmony above the desk, yeah? So everybody kind of aim the sound towards the middle, don't look at me and do it, but aim to your colleagues, but listen at the same time. So, keep going, take a breath when you need, don't fall over. convincing you that it's beautiful. No, really, we just took a basic chord, yeah? But in a way, do we feel a little more connected energetically? Yeah? Now try and say, in that same position now, hello, my name is David and I love Toastmasters.
Hello, my name is David and I love Toastmasters.
That was much louder. So we had just a short period of vocalizing, which anyone can do. So you don't have to get your Toastmasters crew together. Maybe you do and say, oh, look, let's do some harmony building. But you can easily take some time in the bathroom, grab the keyboard, and then we don't have a lot of time to do many more vocal exercises because I have a few more things to mention before we finish up. But you can do anything. If you've played piano, what we did then was as an arpeggio. So you don't need to read music to just grab a keyboard and go. That's the most basic, 3 notes. Everyone do that. All ladies go. Or you can change key. Okay, good. So who's lost their knees? Just check. Who's lost their knees? Who's suddenly gone back to a stance? Yeah. So try it again, build it up. Where are our feet? Parallel with one forward. What are our knees doing? Slightly bent. Hips. Breath. Through the nose and down low. Yeah? And then now let's try it. A very easy way. I'm not asking you to be singers, but you're all musical instruments. My teacher here said to me, David, I used to be a tenor in Australia and now I'm a high baritone. I've gone down a little bit. And part of the reason I don't sing is because I don't have 15 years of repertoire behind me just yet. But I'm going to make an effort this year to try. I've gotten 5 arias ready. I'm going to try and find an agent and maybe my career comes back. But maybe I just get to use the skills that I've learned and inspire others. I don't know what my journey and where that will take me, but I really like singing. And I drive my wife nuts because often I sing the same tune over and over, and she's a musician too, and she's like, please find something else. So you can take these ideas, you can take a keyboard, maybe you take a song like Heal the World, Make It a Better Place for You, and you're just singing along in the car or on the train. Because why not? Music is meant to be inspiring and music is meant to be lived.
Exactly.
Alan Watts says to us in his philosophy, we are meant to sing and dance while the music is being played. It had a profound effect on me because so often I'm forward focused. I said to Chris, I'm going to try and get more DTMs in the next 12 months. We're going to do all these things. Yeah, it's good to have goals and focus. But it's also good to remember to sing and dance while the music is being played. So, just to review our I-A-O. I put in here and I can talk about it. Because then we're ready for So the word is like, we have a So if you're on the train, you can't go, you can go, What we're doing is allowing the tongue to hit the top of the mouth. It's not a hum, it's not at the front, it's at the back. And you should feel it. Do it again, put your hands on your chest plate. Did everyone feel can you feel some vibration on your hands? Yeah? So we're alive, which is is great, but it's also a good sign that we're in our body. I can go, and I feel nothing there because my voice is up in here. So we want to keep it in a nice low spot and a natural spot for you. So when you get up in the morning, you can, yeah, I'm good, I'm ready. Before that meeting, this is also the symbol for self-compassion. Kristen Nerf is a scientist, and she said that she studied this position. So often when we feel emotional, it's why on stage in La Boheme, you know, and the lady often is emoting and, you know, like this, because it's actually a natural thing that we do. When we're upset, oh, Entschuldigung, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, when we mean it, because we're also giving ourselves some compassion. Let's take a seat. That ends the singing part, but it doesn't quite end where I want to go with just a few more ideas. But I don't want to leave you standing, because maybe you're feeling, and especially for our pregnant friend here, we don't want to leave you standing for too long. Just get so that's good. So we can use easily a piano app. Long, longer, longest. Adam, Adam, Adam. So we see there. Okay, a couple more ideas. These are more now philosophical. Now the onion, we do live our lives. We do have certain choices that we make. So are you the hipster character? Are you the international character? Toastmasters has worked out that there are 6 personas. You can ask me about those later. Some who attended our workshop on the weekend may have understood those 6 personas that Toastmasters came up with. And we're all a version of one of those. But in our lives, we're also a version of a character. We have time. I want to do one other exercise, if I can jump back. It's not in here, but it's about how we introduce ourselves. So if you've ever heard of Laura Sokola, she has a TED Talk. And on her TED Talk, we have a whiteboard marker I see, so I'm going to use it. Change the direction in our room. She has a TED Talk where she talks about when we introduce ourselves, we often do it wrong. So I asked some of you your name today, and it's nothing personal or too critical, but I didn't understand. I come from Australia where names are different. It's Bruce, it's Bob, it's Andrew, it's, you know, these other James. I can remember James, but you know, some of you, and I love the sounds of your names and I love the pronunciations, but I don't always understand. So a little tip, our voices are a gift. I can tell myself a joke in my head. Yeah, we all have self-talk, we can all talk to ourselves. So think of it philosophically now, that when you speak, your voice is a gift. Give the gift. You don't throw someone a birthday present. Oh, Victoria, it's your birthday, here you go. Throw it at her. You say, oh, hi, here's a gift. I got you a gift. Thank you very much. So who's ever experienced when you've come into some agreements and things, you're meeting new people? Hi, my name's David Corcoran, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
You go, what? So who's ever misheard somebody pronounce it and say their name?
Oh.
Yeah, it's everyone, right? So when we say our names, try and follow this pattern. Hello, my name is David Corcoran. David Corcoran. We have 3 choices when we speak. Who's ever been accused of speaking in a monotone kind of way? Hello, my name is David Corcoran. Does that sound interesting? No. Lily, when she speaks, she's always saying, hi, my name's Lily, and she's speaking up. So we have 3 choices. We can go monotone, we can go up, or we can go down. Which one do you think is the best? Up. And you can simply just take the last word. Hello, my name is David Corcoran and I love Toastmasters. Suddenly, oh, our ears are aware of that. But when it comes to our names, try if possible to say, hello, my name is David Corcoran. And you don't say that to everybody. It's not like, hi, my name is David Corcoran. That's over the top. But the idea is true, where even if I catch your first name because you've upward inflected, my ears will hear it. And that's the point. So turn to your neighbour now as you're seated and introduce yourself with this idea, please. Go.
Hi, my name is
Hi, my name is Alois.
Hi, my name is Isabel Butrio.
Isabel
Butrio.
Putrian. Cool. My name is Alois.
Pleased to meet you, Alois.
Nice to see you, Isabel Putrian. Hi, you are not a member, you said, right?
Not yet. I'm going to become a member soon.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. Isabel.
We're almost at the end. Well done. Now, do you see how already there were smiles? There was positive influence. People are already moving into more positive conversation. Doesn't feel awkward. So please give the gift. Give the gift when you come up here and speak. You want to choose your words. You want to choose your posture. You want to take a good posture and speak as you will. But you also want to do it with character. What character are you playing? Today I'm the workshop guy. I chose these pants and this shirt. I like wearing this combination of colors. Makes me feel good. Makes me feel confident as well when I go out. Last week I wore a suit because I didn't know what I was doing and who was here and what the style of the lay of the land was. But also I'm thinking about what am I doing after this, what am I doing before this. So what we wear and what we do as characters when we speak is really important. The more characters you can play in your life, the better. Maybe some of you are parents, one character. So don't go home and my kids say, hey kids, how was school today? We don't talk like that. Maybe we get down their level and we play a whole different character using emotional intelligence and other topics and being there for our kids. We haven't got time. Well, we have a little bit of time. There's also gestures involved. So if I do this to you more often, does this feel better than this? Quite clearly. Or this? Yeah. Alan Pease has a great body language exercise on that. So if you're a person and you receive evaluative feedback from your colleagues here in Toastmasters, ask about the gestures. Were my gestures natural? Were they good? Were they irritating things that I was doing? We have an R&R counter, but we need maybe a gesture counter. Because, things can look irritating if it becomes annoying. Okay? So you get my idea here that character is really important. I really suggest that you join a choir. Why not? Sing to speak better. Join a choir. We could even start a Toastmasters UN VIC choir. Some people are interested, some people are not. But find ways, of course, to be in a group and to harmonize together. I think it's a great idea. The last part here, 3 concepts. My 3 Ps. Prepare. So how many of you prepare your speeches for Toastmasters? Good. Now we can't prepare for an impromptu speech, can we? But often we say preparation is key. Absolutely, it's key. Absolutely key. But so is practice. So often we go, yes, I will prepare my speech, great. And then you get there on the day, ooh, I didn't really rehearse this. So if you haven't rehearsed it, then you need to find that. It's why we take 6 weeks in the opera to put on something. It's why opera is expensive, because we have to rehearse and find different ways of doing things. How many hours, does anyone know how many hours it takes to put on a TED Talk? From concept to putting it on. Anyone? 100. Yeah, it's around an average of 100. I met someone yesterday, a blind fellow who had done it. He said, oh, I did easily 1,000. So we're all different, but on average around 100 hours from concept to putting it on, where that speech is done over and over again, where it's lived inside you. Now we don't have time if you're doing your 10 speeches or your advanced speeches. Don't necessarily have time for that. But the reason I'm useful to people is because I can look in the practice. What are you doing that for? Why are you doing that? Reflect and feedback. And help people to extend. Is this the way you want to be perceived? I now start to work with people who, on topics I have no idea about, because I can say to them, sorry, that sounds foreign to me. What does that mean? And ask the basic questions. So grab a colleague for your next important speech and practice that. Maybe you ask to do a similar thing with Toastmasters and put it on in here, or a version of that as part of one of your speeches. But practice, the idiom in English is practice makes perfect. Practice doesn't make you perfect, practice makes you better, in my opinion. And it's the better prepared, better able to adjust, better able to work with time, better able to reflect on the individual audience that you're speaking to in that moment. You must make changes, you must adjust. So I did this speech for the first time in Brno, and I've now done it at least 6 times more in other engagements. So I'm very grateful for another opportunity to try out my ideas and to see them received in such a warm atmosphere. Finally, perform. The critical thing about today that I hope you might take away, the next time you have to deal with a mic, what happens when... Can you hear me? All right, I'm just going to continue. You know, you want to speak with authority. And then Victoria's... You don't want to be in that situation. So that's why singing technique, that's why posture, that's why breathing is all important. Yes, you might have a microphone every time you speak in one of your assemblies or in an important arena, but what happens when it doesn't work? So while you're having the microphone, please fix this now, and you're waiting for that other alternative, you want to continue. You don't want to... And then we're back. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you can at least project for a short time. Yes, Claire?
My voice always sounds really loud to me, and then people say, "Oh no, you're too quiet." So do we have different perceptions of how loud we are?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Singers end up with tinnitus for that reason, because often what's here. But hopefully with good posture, a lot of my singing teachers used to say to me, when we sing well, it feels like the voice is out there. So when you go, I'm actually aiming it past your head, and it's going hopefully that far. Whereas if I go, then of course the closeness gives me that feedback. So all I could suggest is that you practice some of these ideas, and just, if we were working one-on-one, I'd say stand in the corner, and I would work my way back in this room until we could get to the point where you could be here and you could still adjust. So we'd adjust the volume through the breath as we go. I can hear you, and this is a long room. So it's again about fitting the environment that you're in. So some might say, okay, great. I can't speak loud in this room. Sure, build it up. So I had a singing teacher, we started in his lounge room. My first singing teacher started in his lounge room. Eventually he said, we need to go to the church, this big church where there's a big auditorium, we can get free use of it because I want you to stand up there. And he said to me, I want you to fill this double-story church in Melbourne. It was a great exercise where I could sing Josh Groban songs and just kind of have fun and really feel that space. But I started in his lounge room, and we got slightly bigger. It's like building up muscles. We don't go to the gym and go straight for the 50 kilos when we've just bought our sports equipment. You want to start light. So same with the vocals. Start light, build up the voice, a little bit each day, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10, 15, before long. And that's what opera singers really have to make sure. Pavarotti used to say if he took a month's holiday, voice would be gone. So he never really, he'd take holidays here and there, but in short bursts. A month off, it's like, you go away for a month from here, you come back, it's a whole new world. What's happened? Oh. So it's the same idea with our voices and with singing. I would encourage you to perform as much as you can. If you haven't made a speech here, make a speech. Get in there. When you have table topics, put your hand up. Don't make Lydia's life hard when she's delivering table topics. I want to go. I want to go. When you're asked a question in the office, just put your hand up. Try and answer it. Even if it's wrong. You're wrong. Oh, okay. Well, at least I had a chance to put myself in the pressure of the moment and try to just do it. That's what is the real benefit of this idea. So with that, thank you.
Thank you, David. And also, I'm glad this is a super opportunity for everyone to just get to know David, because he is an area director for, not our area, but for clubs in the Vienna area, and he's a super person. And
all the way down to Innsbruck.
That's right.
The other half of Austria as well.
That's right. In our new situation, you also are the area director for the club in Innsbruck, correct? Is that
Innsbruck, Salzburg, Linz, and then VIC 551.
Okay, 2 clubs in Vienna, and then
Victoria has the other half.
And Victoria, for those that don't know, is our area director for our clubs. And there are a lot of changes coming up. David's going to be a big part of those changes. So he's a perfect person to get to know. And also, I think we can give him another round of applause because this was a fantastic workshop. Thank you.
That's how we speak in Australia. Get on, let me go.
As a token of that, thanks for coming and please come again.
Thank you very much.
Guests who want to join Toastmasters, we have membership forms that you can sign and become a member. And if you would like to make a contribution towards today's event, those who are non-members, or for all the members, we are very happy to provide this type of educational workshop. And our next meeting is next Tuesday, which would be a competition if we have competitors. So feel free to come and sign up, and wish you a wonderful day. I mean, it looks like nobody wants to go home, so finish.
Great, thank you.
Exactement, ça te garde la ligne.